Hey, what's up guys? I'm glad you stopped by the shop. Today we're going to be replacing the oil cooler in this 2012 Jeep Wrangler. This Wrangler has a 3.6 liter V6 and we're replacing the oil cooler because the housing is cracked, a common failure in these years. So I think now that we're ready to get started, we can begin by removing the cover that sits on the top of the engine. After that, you're going to grab your 10mm socket and you're going to remove the front 2 bolts that holds down the intake. Grab your flathead screwdriver and remove the 2 hose clamps that hold down the air intake. Now you're going to remove the air intake. Gently pull up and over so that it comes out. Don't forget about your hose that connects to the coolant tank. Remove it off the bracket and also the temperature sensor that's located underneath the intake. Next, we want to remove all the accessories that's going to be in your way. This includes the hoses, brackets, and anything that may prevent you or hang you up from removing the intake manifold. Here, Chris is going to remove one of the brackets that would prevent you from removing the intake manifold. Next, grab a set of channel locks, remove the intake manifold hoses. There's 2 of them. Be careful when removing the hoses that you don't puncture them or do any damage to them. Lightly twist and pull. Look at back there, it's going to be 8 mils and 10 mils. Be sure to disconnect the sensor located on the top of the intake manifold. Next, you want to be sure to remove your wires that are attached to the side of the intake manifold. These are held in by retainers. You can see Chris here is prying on the wire loom in order to get it off. That way, when you pull the intake manifold, you're not going to rip any wires out. Again, it's important to make sure you have removed all your sensor connectors. We forgot one here, so we're going to go ahead and pull it to make sure it's not in the way when we remove the intake. Grab your socket and ratchet, and here you're going to be removing the bracket that's holding the intake manifold from being removed. Once you remove that bracket, it'll free up that manifold. But there's an additional bracket, and you'll see that next. Next, you want to remove this foam piece that's being held on by the plastic retainers. Just get it out the way so nothing's getting hung up on it. Makes it easier whenever you pull the intake. Alright guys, you made it this far. Now it's time to remove the 7 8mm bolts that hold down the intake manifold. This is the upper intake manifold.
Isn't there 7 bolts?
Now going back.
Look, you want to undo that hose?
Don't forget the hose that attaches to your filter housing. All right, let's get our 7 bolts pulled up. That way they don't get hung up when you're removing the intake manifold. You're just going to pull up on them. That way they're freed up out of the threads, and it should loosen up the intake manifold a bit more. Oh, we ran into a bit of an issue. Don't forget you have an additional bracket right here that holds that wire connector on. Grab your 10mm socket and just go ahead and remove it. We removed both sides of the bracket. That way it made it a little easier to get the intake manifold out. Next, you're going to be removing the 8mm bolts that hold down the lower intake. There's 4 on one side and 4 on the other. The back 2 bolts are a little difficult to get to. You may need to use a long extension. Okay, now that you have the lower intake removed, we put some towels in the intake to prevent anything from falling into the engine when we're blowing air to remove debris. This helps prevent any contamination in your engine. You can see the oil cooler in the middle. That's what we'll be removing next. Now it's time to remove the oil cooler. You're going to need a special socket. It's an E8 inverted socket that goes on your ratchet. You're going to remove the 5 bolts that hold the oil cooler in place and then lift up on the oil cooler carefully. Now here you'll have a little bit of fluid leak out of the oil cooler. That shouldn't be a problem. You may just want to have a drip pan below. Next, you're going to be removing the hose and the sensor connector on the back of the oil cooler. You may want to get you some hose clamp pliers. That way it makes it easier to take the clamp off. And then once you do that, you're going to want to try to pinch off the hose so you can eliminate how much fluid comes out. Watch carefully and I'll demonstrate how we did it, and it made it very easy. I used these hose clamp pliers. I clamped the band down, slid it back, and then we used some vice grips to pinch off the hose to prevent more fluid from coming out. Worked out great. After removing the oil cooler and pinching off the hose, I just kind of rolled it back out of place. That way you'll be able to stick the new oil cooler in and it's not going to get hung up on anything. Okay, next what you want to do is kind of just clean up the area. We use some towels here to dry up the coolant and also the oil that was down in the engine valley. We just kind of soaked it up and mopped it away. That way we can get it cleaned up really good. You want to make sure it's very clean before going back in with the new oil cooler. Alright, so this is after we clean it all up. As you can see, all the coolant and the oil is cleaned up. So now the cooler is ready to go in. Okay, it's recommended to change out the gaskets on the intake manifold. That's the upper and the lower. You can see that I changed the lower already, and then now I'll demonstrate how to change those out. I found that the easiest way to do this is to use a mechanic's pick and just dig the gasket out. Okay guys, we are now ready to install the new oil cooler. You're basically going to install it in reverse order. You're going to first connect your sensor and your coolant hose to the back of the. Okay, we're ready to stick the oil cooler down in the valley. You want to be careful when installing it to make sure that you don't reposition the O-rings on the bottom of the cooler, and you want to put a little force down on it to make sure it seats really well. Okay, once you get it seated in place, you can grab your E8 bolts, stick those 5 back in and just snug them up. You don't want to tighten them because there is a torque spec that you need to follow. Alright guys, it's time to torque up the oil cooler. You want to make sure you follow the guidelines that's laid out by the manufacturer. I've included it right here at the top right of the video. You want to follow the sequence on this chart and only torquing it down to the recommended torque so that you don't crack the cooler. Once you do that, it'll be seated, it'll be in place, and everything will be ready to start going back together. All right, we're ready to go back on with the lower intake manifold. Just carefully roll the intake manifold back in place right over the cooler. Line your bolts up. That way they fall into the threads. And then you're just going to secure it by snugging up the bolts. Remember, you also have to torque the lower and the upper intake manifolds, so be sure not to over tighten them. Okay, let's get the lower intake manifold torqued to spec. That's going to be 106 inch-pounds or 8.8 foot-pounds. Again, make sure you use this torque spec and use the sequence on the chart in order to do it correctly. All right, we're going to get the upper manifold installed and set in place. Then we're going to snug up the 7 bolts on top. After you get them all snugged up, again, you're going to follow the correct torque spec from the manufacturer. I've included it in the upper right-hand corner. The torque specs are 89 inch-pounds, so make sure you torque them to spec. You're almost done. All that's left is reconnecting all the hoses that you undid, as well as all the connectors, electrical connectors, and brackets. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel, as we'll continue to produce more videos and more content for you guys. We appreciate it.